In this episode, I'll be revealing 5 more habits that I had to implement into my life to achieve manifesting success. So let's get started.
Hi, I'm Katie, and after many years as a struggling single mum, I transformed into a highly successful manifester with multiple businesses, better relationships, financial abundance, and way more peace, joy, and happiness in my life. Each week, I share the real secrets around how to manifest successfully, as well as the amazing and sometimes crazy lessons I've learned along the way, so that you can apply it all to your own manifesting, transforming your life from the inside out. This is That Manifesting Podcast.
Welcome back to That Manifesting Podcast. Lovely to have you here. Wednesday again. It's nearly Christmas. I'm sorry if you're not a Christmas person. I am totally a Christmas person. So I'm very, very excited about that. Thank God the absolute horror of Halloween is over. I am not a Halloween person, not for any spiritual reasons, purely because I find the thought of small children dressed up in terrifying outfits really, really scary, like really scary. I can't open the door to Halloween people makes it sound like they're their own group of people, but you know what I mean, little spirit demon children. I cannot bear opening the door because, you know, that thing of fight or flight, I can really wildly swing between the two. I daren't open the door to small children in case they scare me and, I don't know, I just like lash out or something. So it's best for everyone concerned that I don't open the door. I really don't like Halloween. So I am completely glad that it's over. Another reason I don't like Halloween is because I don't like anything where people are dressed up. Even like the idea of going to Disneyland is my idea of hell. I honestly could not think of anything worse than walking around somewhere where there's adult-sized giant things dressed up. Absolutely hideous. No. Disneyland is not my place. When my daughter was young, we were shopping, like she was that small, she was still in a pushchair. I don't think she could even speak at that point. And we were in a shopping centre and I was just moseying around a clothes shop, looking at the clothes. I walked out of the clothes shop and I was confronted with a life-size pig. It was a man dressed as a pig. I don't know if it was Peppa Pig, can't remember. I freaked out, screamed in its face and ran. But the worst thing was I ran without my daughter. I literally left her in the buggy. I was that terrified and I just ran and left her. And then I had this horrible dilemma of, okay, how do I get my daughter back away from the giant pig? So I was sort of creeping up. People must have thought I'd lost my marbles. But I was creeping up to this giant pig and I was shouting at it saying, please move away. And eventually I think the pig realised that I was scared of it. And so it darted off to the side and I ran like Usain Bolt towards my daughter, grabbed the buggy and ran for my life through the shopping centre. It was not my finest moment, but yeah. I have this horrible phobia of anything dressed up, even something as lovely as a pig, because a pig as an adult is scary. Likewise, a small child with a demon face is scary. I've seen The Exorcist. I know that these things are very scary. So anyway, I'm freaking myself out here. The fact is, Halloween is over. Thank God. I've just got the horror of firework night to go because I don't like that either. I sound like a real grump, don't I? But Halloween, firework night, it's not for me. Let's get that out the way and let's get on towards Christmas. Then I can relax and be happy. Okay, so we've had a manifesting question come in via the text option. If you want to send a future question, you can click the text me or send me a message. I think it says it's in the show notes below, and you can send in your own manifestation question and I will answer it on a future episode. But I have had one that I wanted to cover in this episode, and the message that came in says, how do I change all my bad thoughts? I feel I manifest horrible things in my life. Because I'm so scared of things, they play on my mind. And that is something that I wanted to get into because it is a common thing that comes up. I don't know any more than that, so I don't know if there's a particular fear that's coming up. But here's what I want to say. I am somebody who has a lot of fears. As I said in the intro, some of them are wildly stupid, but there are real fears that I have about my life, and that's okay. It's okay to worry about something happening or not happening. It's okay to feel fear that something you really want to manifest won't manifest. The most important thing is that it doesn't shape your identity, because it's your identity that then determines how your subconscious mind starts to manifest the outcomes in your life. So let me explain. If, for example, let's take an example of being scared of flying. So there's a lot of people that have a fear of flying. And for some people, they take that fear on so much that their subconscious mind literally will not allow them to get onto a plane, ever. It's become that much of a part of their identity that it then impacts their actions. So they have this fear, they let it seep into their identity, and then they won't get on a plane. Now, if you take somebody like me, whenever I am going to be flying, I will have night after night leading up to probably like for a couple of weeks before flying, where I start panicking and I start thinking about horrible things like plane crashes or all of that good stuff. But here's the difference. Although I worry a lot, I don't let it change my identity, because when it comes to it, I will still go and get on that plane. And what that tells me is that it's not a part of who I am. It's just something I'm feeling about something. And that's okay. That does not impact my manifestations, because I still get on the plane and I still go on holiday. And this could be the same in, say, your love life. You might be really, really worried about getting your heart broken. Or, no, let's not say heartbroken, because that's a very deep subject. Let's just say something a bit more surface level. You might be worried about getting stood up on dates. And it might be something, whenever you start thinking about going on a date, you start getting worried that they're not going to turn up. Now, the person that takes that fear on as part of their identity will literally not go on any dates ever. They will decline them, because their subconscious fear of being stood up has become an ingrained part of their identity. So they won't go. Therefore, they won't manifest any more dates. Whereas the person that has a fear of being stood up, but doesn't let it seep into their identity, will still go on the date despite that fear. So if you feel like a fear of something happening or not happening is showing up in your life, your responsibility is to not let it stop you taking action. You know that saying, feel the fear and do it anyway. That's what this comes down to. Don't let fear become part of your identity, because fear of something is a belief, either from a learned experience or from beliefs that have been put onto you by people around you. They can be removed. That's my advice to you. I hope that helped. As I said, if you have got any other manifestation questions or challenges that you're having, anything that keeps cropping up, text into the show using the option below, and I will answer those that text in. I'll answer them in a future episode. I hope that helped. Okay, here's today's question of the week. The question of the week for this week is, have you ever been fired from a job? I asked people on my Instagram stories because I wanted to know if I'd got some rule breakers or I'd got some people that were really good and hadn't been fired. And actually, most of my followers are really, really good and have never been fired. I haven't been fired myself, thankfully. Probably come close a few times because I was a gobby little mare when I was younger. Actually, I'm still a gobby mare, but more so when I was younger. I didn't do very well with authority, particularly in jobs. So I would be that person that argued back. I was probably all of my managers' worst nightmare. But I did have this job when I was young. It started off as a Saturday job, and it was in a clothes shop in the town that I live. And I'd always loved this clothes shop, and I think I was about 16 when I started working there on Saturdays, and I absolutely loved it. And on my first day, the girl that was like the lead supervisor there, she said to me, she was like doing my induction, telling me how the till worked and all of that good stuff. And she said, oh, one of the perks that we have here, you can just help yourself to the clothes that you want because the salary is not that great. So if you see anything, just help yourself. And I thought, well, this is even better now. And I would go in every Saturday, and new stock would have come in, and she'd say, yeah, help yourself. And she used to invite her mum down, and her mum would come and help herself. So I started doing the same, and I said, is it all right if I invite my mum and my sister? And she was like, yeah, absolutely. So I would invite my mum and my sister down. They'd help themselves to clothes. And this just carried on, year after year. I was there for a good couple of years. And then I actually ended up working there when I left school. So I was working there more permanently. And I want to say, I can't remember exactly how long I worked there for, but I'm going to say I was at least 18. I was still there when I was 18. And I walked into work one day, and the lead supervisor was freaking out. She was pale as a ghost. She looked dreadful. And I walked in. I said, what's the matter? She said, Katie, we're in the shit. And I said, why? What's happened? And she said, the bosses are going to be doing a stock take. The numbers don't add up on stock sold versus stock bought and stock still on the shop floor. And they've noticed this has now gone back years. And I said to her, well, wouldn't that be because we've been allowed to take clothes? And she looked at me, deadpan, and said, we were never allowed to take clothes. That was a decision I made. Oh my God. I, in that moment, wanted to pass out. I'd basically been stealing from my employer without even knowing it for over 2 years. And when I say I help myself, I am a gal that loves clothes. This was like, grab what you can, grab what you want, take it home. My wardrobe was full of all of this stuff. And I said to her, well, why didn't you tell me this? And she said, well, they've never done I've been here 10 years and they have never once done a stock take, so I never thought it would be an issue. So that was how I became a accidental shoplifter. And what I did, because I was so scared, I went home, and I remember my mum was on holiday at the time, and she was really proud that I'd got this job and I was doing well. And I went down in the dead of night and I put a letter through the clothes shop door saying, I can't work here anymore. I don't enjoy it. Thanks anyway. Bye-bye. And that was how I left. Thankfully, nothing ever happened. I never got a knock at the door from the police or anything like that. But yes, I left because I had accidentally become a shoplifter. So no, I haven't been fired. But had things turned out very differently, I could have been recording this podcast from prison. But I'd love to know, have you got any stories about being fired or leaving a job or anything like that, I would love to know. Text in and let me know. So last week I shared the first 5 habits that I had to implement in my life to achieve the manifesting success that I've had. Today I'm going to be covering the next 5. I hope you enjoyed the last 5. These 5 I feel are even more powerful. So let's get into it. The first one, or it's number 6 on the list, first one for today, is I live every day like it's my first. I always heard that saying, which was live every day like it's your last. But that never resonated with me. Because if you imagine, if it really was your last day on earth, yes, you might tell people you loved them, you might make an effort to spend time with the people closest to you, but everything would be about to be over, and there might be things that you hadn't done yet, there might be things that you hadn't achieved yet, and you might have a sense of regret, and you would look back not just on the good things but the bad things in your life, and living every day like it's your last just feels a bit like flying by the seat of your pants, and that's not that doesn't align with my view of manifestations. So I like to tell my clients, and I do this myself, is to live every day like it's my first. Because when you do that, imagine waking up every morning and you have a renewed sense of the day. You're not carrying all the old shit from yesterday or last week or last year. You're not dragging the baggage around with you of everything that's gone wrong in your life. You're starting every day afresh, every day like it's your first day on earth. Imagine how you would feel if when you woke up in the morning, you looked at it as a completely fresh start. I know some people can kind of get that feeling, on New Year's Day. A lot of people will feel it on New Year's Day, like, it's the first day of the rest of my life. I'm going to exercise and I'm going to eat healthily. And if you're anything like me, that's sort of out the window by 12 o'clock when you start on the New Year's Day buffet. But you know what I'm saying? There are certain points, or if you're about to start a new exercise regime or something like that, and you do have that renewed sense of this is the beginning. Well, what I try to do is do that every single day. No matter what happened yesterday, no matter what happened last week, last month, last year, I make a conscious effort to leave it there. I'm always looking forward. That's all I do. I look forward and I think, this is my first day. For this day, what am I going to do with it? How am I going to take another step closer towards the things that I want to manifest? What happened yesterday doesn't matter anymore. It's what I do today that counts. That's the next habit. Live every day like it's your first. Number 7 of my 10 habits is I don't give my power away to anyone or anything. Now, this started off being driven from relationships because I used to give my personal power to anybody that I was in a relationship with. And I felt like I lost control of my own life because I was only happy if they were happy. If they were sad, I was sad. If they were worried, I was worried. If they were having a bad day, I had a bad day. It was kind of a reactive response to whatever they were feeling or however they decided the relationship was going. But over time, that also evolved into me realising that I'd given my power away to money as well. Everything hankered on money. If I didn't have enough money, my day was ruined, my month was ruined, my year was ruined. I saw money as this thing that was really hard to make and really easy to lose. And without realising it, I had totally got this feeling that money was the be all and end all. And that's what, if I had more money, I would be happy. If I had more money, I would be successful. If I had more money, I would be able to sleep. But here's the thing, money is just a tool, and that's what I learned. It's a tool to help you towards the things that you want. But it isn't something that you should ever give your power to. There's a difference. And that's what I had to learn, was not to give my power away to money. I had to see it as something that was almost an energetic flow. Money can flow in and money can flow out. When you try to stop it flowing out, you stop it flowing in. Just like the sea or any body of water, if you put a dam in place, you restrict the natural flow. The same is true with money. And that's what I had to learn. I had to learn to be okay with the times when I didn't have as much money as I would have liked, because I would know it was just a tool, it was going to come back. And it wasn't the money that would determine my happiness, because if that was the case, every single person that has millions of dollars or millions of pounds would be happy. And you only have to look at the news to know that that is not true. Money does not make you happy, because money is just a tool. And there are other ways to secure your happiness. And the moment you give that power to money, you become a slave to it. And you can't be happy unless you have money. That's habit number 7. I don't give my power away to anyone or anything. I am always in control of my life, and I decide whether I'm happy or not. The tools in my life or the people in my life will never, ever let me decide whether I'm happy or not. That's on me. Habit number 8 is I protect my energy at all costs. I'm not afraid to say no. And this was a hard one, because I had a number of years trying to be a people pleaser because of the way I'd grown up, always hoping that my dad would love me, that my dad would take more interest in me. I grew up with that sense of needing to please people, and I would allow myself to be surrounded by, you can call them energy drains, soul suckers, little rain clouds of doom. I would have all those people around me, and ultimately it just impacted my energy. Nowadays, I will actively repel people and situations from my life that I feel are going to be detrimental to my energy. And I make no apologies for that, because nothing is more important than how I feel. And that's not selfish, because if I feel the most amazing version of myself and my energy is high all the time, the people I love the most in the world will feel that, and they can use that to spur them on. I make no apologies for protecting my energy and removing people and situations from my life that I feel are impacting that. And that also means, like I say, I'm not afraid to say no. If I don't want to do something, if something, I have had sometimes people that will ask me for advice, and I know that they just want to hear what they think in a different voice. They don't actually want my advice, and that can be frustrating for me. And so I'm not afraid to say no to those sorts of people, because my energy has to be protected. And I'm not willing to do spiritual battle or energetic battle with people who are determined to live in a state of want and negativity and pessimism. That's not where I live my life. And I can't have people or things in my life that also feel that way. I've left jobs before because I could feel it impacting my energy, and I had nothing else to go to. But the moment I took that faith in myself and took that leap to protect my energy, something came along for me, because I believed that it would be okay. I believed that what I was doing was the right thing to protect myself. And I was right. I've never had a situation where it all went wrong because I'd protected my energy. If you find yourself in the position, I'm not telling you to go and get rid of all your friends or anything like that. It's more about don't take on their things. I'm the sort of person where I will happily remove people from my life. I don't mean like in a hitman sort of way. Obviously, they're still living. It's all good. It's all good. Don't report me. But it's just I limit the time that I spend with them. And before I spend time with them, I have to get myself into the zone of thinking I'm not taking on their energetic negativity. I'm not taking that on. It's theirs to keep. So protect your energy at all costs, and don't be afraid to say no if something is going to impact your energy. Number 9 is just one step. And I got this concept. I think it was a guy called Ed Mylett. I'm sure it was Ed Mylett. And I listened to him do a podcast, and he was talking about this just one mindset. And it really resonated with me. And it's something that I've taken on as a habit for myself. And I know it's something that helps the clients that I work with. It really helps them to accelerate their manifestations. And the concept is, if you think about where you are right now, if there's something that you want to manifest and it feels really far away from where you are, let's say you wanted to manifest £1 million and at the moment you're minus £2,000 in your bank account, getting that million might feel like a huge step and virtually impossible to manifest. The concept of just one step is about breaking down what you want to manifest into smaller, manageable chunks that feel like they're the natural next step. So in that example that I used, if you were minus £2,000 in your bank account, the one step for you might be just getting to zero in your bank account, getting rid of the debt. Once you've done that, the next step to manifest might be, I want to be in credit every month, even if it's just £100. It's gradually taking one step at a time, whatever feels comfortable and manageable to you. You keep your end goal in sight, so you always know at the back of your mind, I'm working towards the £1 million. But you're always just focused on the next step ahead. And what I've found with my clients is that really helps them to keep on track, because they know they want to manifest something greater, but they're only focused on the first step in front of them, whilst they keep that vision in their mind, at the back of their mind all the time. One of my clients that wanted to manifest love, she was so scared of going out on dates and she would not do it. Her first step was just to sign up to a dating site, not to talk to anybody, not to do it. It was just to take that one little step. And we did that, and gradually she became more comfortable with the whole concept of going out on dates and actually doing it. And that's what helped her. If I'd have told her on day one, when she was scared to death of going out on a date, if I'd have told her on that day, okay, by the end of next week, I want you to have manifested your first date, she would have freaked and probably never worked with me again. You should always keep what you want to manifest as the big picture in your mind. That is the goal that's driving you. But before you achieve that goal, there's going to be a lot of little steps that you have to take to get into the right mindset, to adopt the right identity, to be able to achieve that ultimate goal. And these little steps, they all help refine and fine-tune your identity. Anything you want to manifest, take just one step, and then the next step, and then the next step. That's number 9. The final habit that I have had to adopt to achieve manifesting success is that everything is possible. And that sounds quite broad, but it's also quite empowering. Now, of course, there are some things that this doesn't apply to. I couldn't just sprout wings and fly. That's not going to happen. Anything that doesn't contradict manifestation, universal laws, aside from those things, everything is possible. I used to read a lot of celebrity biographies, autobiographies, not because I was particularly interested in the celebrity, but because I loved that story of somebody that started from a perceived nothing and grew into something that nobody thought they could do. I find that inspiring and empowering for my own life, because I've always looked at it, if someone somewhere else in the world, even just one person, has done it, I can do it. It's just finding the steps. It's just protecting my energy. It's not giving my power away. It's getting up every day with that renewed sense of today is the first day of my life. Everything is possible for me. I just have to figure out what's the identity I need to adopt. What's the future successful version of me doing, thinking, feeling, believing? That's what I have to do, because then everything is possible for me. And everything I do is one step closer to what I want. When you have an everything is possible mindset, you will hit bumps in the road, but ultimately you know that you're getting where you need to go because you know that it's possible for you. If you're struggling to manifest anything, look for the people that have gone before you and done it. If you want to set up a successful business but you feel it's impossible, look for the examples of people that are in the situation you are right now and have made it happen. If you want to manifest a beautiful relationship and you've been single for 5 years, look for the people that were single for a long time and then manifested a relationship. Find those examples of what you want, because if they can do it, you can do it. The only thing that's holding you back is your own limitations. And that I can promise you. Even if nobody has done what you wanted to do before, what's to say you're not the first? You become the inspiration for other people. Who knows? But whatever you do, never downplay your ability to manifest the life that you want, the things that you want, because everything is possible for you. I cannot sometimes believe the life that I have now. I've spoken about it many times on these podcast episodes. The life that I have now is the life that I dreamed of 10, 15 years ago. And I mean dreamed of. The life I live now is the life I daydreamed about years ago. If I can do it, I promise you that you can too. So believe that everything is possible. So that's it. That's your 10 habits. So today we covered the second part. Let me recap. Number 6 is live every day like it's your first. Number 7 is you don't give your power away to anyone or anything. Number 8 is protect your energy at all costs. Don't be afraid to say no. Number 9 is take just one step towards your ultimate goal. And number 10, believe and show up as if everything is possible. Those are your 10 habits. If you haven't listened to the first part, it's available now. Go back and listen to it, because then you'll get the first 5 that I shared last week. And now you have the full collection, 10 habits for manifesting success.
So that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've enjoyed listening, I'd be so grateful if you'd subscribe and leave a review, because it really does help me to reach more people. I've left some links in the show notes so you can connect with me, or you can grab one of my manifesting resources. Until next week, sending you lots of love, light, and manifesting vibes.